Vietnam is a beautiful country with a rich heritage and history, a complex history that has left a mark on people and reflects on how people live their life today, the food they eat, and how they thrive. Vietnam has given me an unforgettable experience with the warmest hospitality and the kindest people I've ever met. In this Vietnam series, I will be taking you on a journey of exploring and experiencing the most of Vietnamese culture, starting from Ho Chi Minh in the south to the ancient towns and beaches in Hanoi and Da Nang, and then making our way up in the north. This is the ultimate Vietnamese itinerary where we get to live life like locals with no rush. On our second day of exploring Ho Chi Minh, we started with visiting the Netflix famous banh mi shop called Beho. I was somehow expecting a line here, but it was really quiet, which was great as we got to sit on the little tables and chair outside and enjoyed this moment ourselves. The shop only had two options, which was pork and chicken. They were both super delicious as the meats and herbs were fresh and the baguette was crispy on the outside and soft in the inside. The banh mi were also super cheap as we got two banh mi's for only 40,000 Vietnamese dongs, which is $2 Australian. After having the banh mi, we made our way to visit the War Museum, which was only 25 minutes walk from this shop. The tickets here costed only $2.5 Australian per person. And guys, when I visited this museum, I actually didn't record anything while I was inside as I was feeling quite heavy and the information I read made me uneasy. I was honestly quite affected by everything, but I would suggest if you're visiting Ho Chi Minh, this is an essential visit as it will make you appreciate the people and the country even more. Especially if you are planning a visit to Cu Chi tunnels, which I would highly recommend you do. I would suggest that you visit the War Museum first as it's so much informative and everything will just make more sense. We had a Cu Chi tunnel booked for the day after, so I'm glad that we went to War Museum before. The next stop was Pink Church, and by the time I left War Museum, it was already pretty dark because we spent around 3.5 hours. So we just stayed outside the Pink Church, got some photos clicked, and moved on to our next destination. We were so hungry by this time, so we decided to go to the famous night street food market called Banh Street Food. I've probably butchered this pronunciation, but let's move on. The place was full of various food stalls serving multi-cuisine food. It was honestly pretty overwhelming to decide what to get here because there were so many options, and we ended up getting 2 drinks and Thai fried rice. To be honest, this wasn't a kind of place I would enjoy because it felt really touristy and the food was overpriced as well. I would suggest you can skip this spot if you don't like overly touristy food either. We had a good time here only because we met a few Australian couples and we sat there and just talked to like strangers for like 2 hours, so that was really fun, but the food itself I wasn't very happy about it. Our third day in Ho Chi Minh City was super packed, and it started off with one of the prettiest French-inspired cafes I have ever been to. The cafe was located in a little alleyway, and when we got inside, the cafe was covered with fresh flowers, bouquets, and plants. The presentation of our coffees was genuinely the highlight, and I was so obsessed with how pretty everything was. The food here costed us $20 Australian, which is a little pricey as compared to other cafes, but you're really paying for the experience, and this was an experience that I cannot forget about. And look who accompanied us, the cutest cat I've ever seen in my life.
Oh.
It's a long trip.
यहाँ से कितना दूर है?
1 hour 20 minutes.
हैं?
बताया नहीं था आपको?
ओहो बड़ा मजा आएगा.
You think we're gonna go in a bus? Oh, and it's just us.
हाँ. वो हम छोड़ जाएंगे.
Yeah.
भाई बड़ा कितने की बुक हुई है ये कोची टनल?
$25 a person. And it's a whole day trip. Oh, but I think we're gonna be picking up more people from the hotel. Like one by one. Everyone who's staying at District 1, we'll be picking them up. So
And of consequence. Really, you can see every plan laid out. Tell you, but when we queued up in their military base, the thing move to the fourth land. Inside this place, we have the place to take water. Place to take water. But
적의 공격에 대비하여
okay, and when you go down, you have to trade your arms and hold down here like this, and trade your arm go down. Remember, if you shake your arms, this one leaf come out. Okay, the enemy can easy to find out you. Okay, and so trade.
guys, I'm so glad we did the Kochi Tunnel tour and didn't skip on it, because honestly, this was one of the highlights of a trip. The information that we were given, I still remember it, and it was so fun going inside different types of tunnels and eating the food that the soldiers ate at the time. This was honestly a great experience. You can also shoot AK-47s and other guns that they used in the war, which you will see in the next few clips. A lot of people did that, but it was too loud and my ears were actually hurting. So I stayed away from the range, and you can still hear how loud the bullets are. The Kochi Tunnel tour ended around 7 p.m. and we were dropped off right near Banh Market, so of course we couldn't miss on this one. This is the most famous market in Ho Chi Minh City.
Number phone, you can WhatsApp.
Remember,
WhatsApp,
okay.
yeah.
WhatsApp.
Remember the name Raj?
Raj.
Raj, my name is Raj. R-A-J, Raj.
Raj. My name.
By the time we reached Banh Market, 50% of the shops were actually closed, so for us it was a great thing because the market wasn't as busy as it is during the day. And as this is a touristy market, obviously it is overpriced, so I would suggest don't do all your shopping from here. You can come here for food because the food is really good and it wasn't pricey at all. So you can come here for food but skip on shopping. By this time, Rajat was really tired, so he went back to the apartment, but I still wanted to explore the Ho Chi Minh City nightlife. The city is not only alive in the daytime, but it is bustling at night. After exploring the nightlife, I thought it would be the perfect idea to find a hidden cafe which was located in an apartment building and just sit, have a drink and watch the nightlife. Look how beautiful my view was from the top. I ended up getting a salt coffee, and you guys, this was one of the best salt coffees I've had in Vietnam, but it was also super pricey. But the view and the ambience was definitely worth it. I am going to wrap up day 3 in Ho Chi Minh City here, but I will see you guys tomorrow for a fun packed day 4 and 5.